Alright, this is going to be step 2 of your mandala bowl. What we're going to be going over today is, first of all, smoothing the bowls. You want them to be really smooth and really as even as you can make them. We're also going to be going over the mandala designs and how to transfer them onto a tracing paper, and also why we're going to put them on a tracing paper. So I have both of these that I made yesterday. I did go in and kind of square this one off. If you guys want to alter your bowls a little bit, go ahead, you can do so. I would recommend geometric shapes. I think that'll work best. Even though some of ours are more floral, I suppose if you want to make it a little bit wavy, you can. We'll kind of talk about it, see what the options are one-on-one. So I have my 2 bowls. Some of you guys are in a few different stages. Some of you guys just removed them off the mold. Others have been able to go in and smooth them. I want everyone at the beginning of class today to go in, take a really close look at your dish, and go in with small pieces of clay and start to fill in. So because we don't have a slab roller, our slabs were not perfect. I could tell over here it's a little bit thinner. All I'm gonna do is take a little bit of extra clay, kind of tap it in there, just like when we were working on our coil pots, and smooth it. You guys can also use any tools that you feel like may assist you in this. Some people might want to go in and use a rib tool to smooth it out. Test a few different methods out. Whatever is going to get you a fairly even rim around the edges. One more thing I wanted to bring up. For the mandala bowls, you're going to want a fairly flat surface. Obviously, it is going to be a dish, so you're going to have part of it that's sticking up. But we're going to be carving these, and sgraffito, which is to carve in Italian, is a little bit difficult, a little challenging when you're first starting out. So I would recommend making sure you have a nice bowl, however, you have a good surface area to transfer your mandala onto. If you feel like you want to remake your bowl, you can go ahead and do that today. I would say that would be the day to go ahead and do so. And you can just let it rest on the mold while you are going in and transferring your mandala drawing onto the tracing paper. So I'm going to set these aside. I would say I'm pretty close to finishing them up. This one's stuck to the board still, and this one's going to be my first demo piece, and then I'm going to work on this one on my official demo video. So what you're going to want to do, and I gave you guys this size paper intentionally because I wanted you to have something that was really going to fit inside the dish. You don't have to have it covering the entire dish. However, it is, the design we're going for, so I wouldn't make it too small. You don't want to have a lot of underglaze left over. Now, this was one that I had done previously. This was my drawing, and I'm actually going to apply it onto this right here. However, if I kind of go in and try to smush this, I'm not going to be able to see really what I'm doing. That's where the tracing paper comes in. See, I already ruined that. With tracing paper, that would not have happened. What I did is I went in, and because this one was stuck down, I couldn't flip it over. And I went in with my tracing paper, and I just quickly scribbled approximately the size of the dish. All right? Then, after I had that, I went in and I tried to center my mandala drawing the best that I could. Now, I think it went approximately, might have to flip it over. once you get it on the paper, you should be pretty good. I went over it, I traced everything, and now I have a tracing paper of the mandala design. This way, we have a really nice sheet of paper. We can cut it up all the way till the edges. Once we have that small piece, we can push it down, and I'll show you guys tomorrow how to, number one, apply underglaze, and number two, start transferring these onto your dish. On Thursday, we're gonna start to carve, and we will carve, you know, probably for a few days. I'm gonna be using this as my demo piece. I think it's a little bit more straightforward. I got carried away on the other one, and I really wanna make sure that you guys can tell how you're going to carve these out. It's gonna be all about positive and negative space, very similar to block printing. However, it's gonna be the opposite. So you are going to be carving out anything that's light in color and keeping in all of the darks. We can go over if you guys have different designs. I'll help you kind of point out what you should carve, what you might want to label, and all that good stuff. So I'm going to take this piece of tracing paper, and I'm going to take my bowl, and I'm just going to go in with my permanent marker, give it a nice trace on the tracing paper. That's gonna give you approximately the size of your bowl. There's more space in here, so if you do wanna alter anything, you can go ahead and change up your design, switch it up a little bit as you're working on the tracing paper. You can draw up a new drawing if you feel like you wanna do that. However, I think you guys had pretty good designs. So I'm gonna try to line this up with the center. And all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go over and I'm gonna trace the entire thing. I don't have tape with me right now, but some people find it easier to just tape the edges down so that it's not gonna move on them. You could just hold a hand down as well. Now, you guys are going to want to go over these very precisely because this is what we're gonna be using to transfer it on. So I'm even gonna go as far as coloring in any of the darker parts that I made. And once we have our template, we are going to use this and make a very light tracing onto our bowls. We're gonna be doing so by using a ballpoint pen to make a slight impression, and then you'll have a really good plan on how to carve these out. So there is a method to my madness of going over these a few times. First, I wanted you guys to really get a hand of the mandala designs, but now going in, redrawing it, reworking it if you want to. For instance, I only had these petals up to here. Once I realized my dish was a little bit bigger, I added a little bit more on. So you can do that. You know, make sure that it's a design you really like. Once we start doing the sgraffito carving, I think you guys are gonna find it super relaxing and really fun to work with. So make sure that you have a design that you're gonna really enjoy. And that's just gonna kind of add to like the meditative process of it. Carving clay is usually very, very relaxing, especially once you get the hang of the parts that you want to remove, the parts that you want to leave behind. So we're including every single line, every single mark. And I would recommend doing some thin lines, some thick lines, some circles, getting a whole variety in there. And I'm not going to go ahead and trace this whole thing, but when you're finished, it's going to start to look like that. And this will be the final product. So you want your entire mandala by the end of class today. on tracing paper that matches your dish. You also want to have a really smoothed out dish. Like I said, if you need to recreate yours for your design, you can. If you are finished with yours and you just want to really smooth it up, go in, try to get it as even as you can, just taking little pieces of extra clay. So that is our goal. Tomorrow we are going to apply underglaze, and you guys can pick whatever color you want. I'm gonna be using white on the brown clay. I think it'll give like a really nice contrast once it's fired, but I have so many different colors that you guys can pick from. Once you're carving things out, you could even add in a few other colors if you so choose to do so. And that's what we're gonna be working on today.